What is up, my pizzas? This is Corey Vincent here with NRG Esports, and we are doing the first of what will hopefully be many esports AMAs with some of our amazing talent, starting with the newest player to our Csgo roster, which I believe is still true. Is that correct? Are you the newest member of NRG Csgo?
Yep.
His name is now this is the first thing we need to address, and I'm glad you're here to help me out because I actually do not like your gamer tag because I can't say it. And casters always have trouble saying it, so set the record straight. How do I say your name, your gamer tag?
Usually people just call me Ethan. All the casters call me Ethan because I gave up trying to say it. So but if you need to say the actual thing, I usually say Nahte.
Nahte. Okay, so when you created it, you called it Nahte. What's the obviously it's Ethan backwards, but how long did you get this tag? When did it begin?
I don't remember honestly. Probably like 2 years.
Oh, so this is new. This is fresh.
No, yeah, it's fresh. Maybe 3 actually.
And was it created just for CSGO, or were you like, I used to play Halo, and this was my first Xbox Live tag or something like that?
Nah, it was purely for this.
So since this is the first time you and I are really getting to talk to each other, I've obviously a fan. I got to see a few of the first matches. I love your play style. Your Twitch clips are funny. We just posted one to the NRG Twitter the other day where you were doing some IGL, telling people to jump on each other's head pretty forcefully. I think you might have to go to management training a little bit because you seemed a little abrasive there. But welcome to the team. Welcome to NRG. How are you liking it so far, and how are you fitting in with your teammates?
Thank you. It's good. I like all of them. I mean, they're all super cool. I live in the house with 2 of them right now, so it's been pretty friendly.
So you're with CeRq and Breeze.
Yeah.
You're 18, CeRq 18, Breeze 19. So this is 3 teenagers living in a fucking dope house in Las Vegas. What's life like for you guys?
Definitely like biggest concern is keeping it clean constantly. So it's a little bit of a struggle with 3 teenagers, but I mean it's alright. It's alright.
Who's keeping you guys in line? Like who's the father figure, the role model, the one taking the trash out, ordering the cleaning supplies? Who's that?
I think it was me, honestly. Because when I got here, I ordered like all this stuff off of Amazon and everything that we needed and stuff. But I mean, Derek, our manager, was here for a week or 2 while we were here, so he got everything sorted out when I got here. So I wasn't completely just like by myself. But
let's go through before we get to your guys' questions, and thank you guys all for being in here. As we said before the broadcast, this is our first one of these. We really could use your guys' help. If you guys follow us on Twitter, give that a little retweet, bump into the other Discords, get people in here, let them know, hey, we're doing some AMAs. If you want to learn more about esports athletes, what it takes to be a pro, if you're a CSGO fan, you want to know what to expect in ESL, that's the kind of stuff we're going to be talking about in these. And it's not just going to be CSGO. Next week, maybe we'll try and get some Smite guys or some Rocket League guys. We have an Overwatch Contenders team we'd like to learn more about. But we figured ESL is it's a huge league for CSGO, and it's coming up here in March here pretty soon. And before these guys get too busy and motivated in trying to win the ESL, we wanted to get him in here for an interview. So thank you guys for that. I want to know, Ethan, what was your gaming history? Did you just go straight to CS, or did you start playing as a youngster? What was your gaming history?
Yeah, so when I was pretty young, like 11, 10, like around then, I definitely like played the Xbox and stuff. I think my first one was like the regular Xbox, and then I went to like the 360, and then I got the PlayStation and stuff.
Always.
And I just played like Call of Duty and stuff like that.
I was gonna say, was it always shooters for you, or did you start off with fighters, or?
No, it's always been like Halo and Call of Duty, stuff like that. And then I think around 4 years ago, I started CS, just like casually. So, and then 2 years ago, I got on a pro team.
Was that CSGO, or did you start with the 1.6, or what was how did that go down?
I played Source for fun, never like competitively or anything. So CSGO is the first competitive game I've played.
So I got another question in here that I like to. I think it's a pretty fair question because we all play video games and we all think we're pretty good. But when did it hit you that you were really good and had the ability to take it into the pro scene?
I think around 2 years after I started, just for fun, I played Open a couple seasons, which is like Friends, which is like the lowest level division for ESL. And then after a couple seasons, I got straight up to Premier, which is like just under Pro League. And so I just had like pretty good pug stats, and some Premier team picked me up.
How did
And
that
then
go? Do you remember like getting that message and what kind of things it said and how you took what like for me I'd be skeptical like is this for real? How do you take this seriously or how did that situation go?
I mean, it was still like when I was playing pugs and stuff, I knew a couple like good players just because I was pretty good in pugs, and so I knew a couple Premier players. And then, so I mean, I was friends with a couple, so it wasn't that weird getting like messages asking me to play for them. So, but once I got into Premier, I hopped on a couple teams, like team to team. So it was a little weird. I never got like practice with one singular team. And then I got into rank S because we made playoffs, and I think that was the rule set. If you made playoffs in Premier, you got up to rank S, and then that's when I got noticed for Pro League.
So we'll go ahead and take the first question here off of Twitter. It's from Renegade Gamer, and it's a fair question. He says, how much time do you spend playing CS every day, and how much of that is team practice?
Team practice is 4 to 5 hours a day. That's like going over stuff, scrims, and just talking. So, and then after that, depending, I usually DM for probably like 30 minutes a day, maybe an hour. And then if I rank S, that's like 3 more hours. So around like 8 or 9 a day.
That's a full like, and that's every day. Just about. How do you keep yourself from getting burnt out and keeping the game interesting and keeping yourself from losing interest?
It's definitely like liking the team definitely helps a lot. Like liking everybody you play with, being friends with everyone definitely helps. And I play other games as well, just like from time to time. I watch TV shows, we go out. Like just yesterday, we were out for like 6 hours. Just stuff like that keeps it pretty fresh. It's just not locked into a house every single day, all day.
One of the guys on your team has been getting a lot of attention and a lot of decoration in CeRq, the Bulgarian Beast. What's the Beast like behind the scenes, just hanging out with the guy?
Yeah, he's pretty chill. It's cool. He's like really friendly. So I mean, he's not like when I before I joined the team, I just expected him to be like just I don't know. I had the stereotype like a European teammate coming to the U.S. would be like super quiet and like to himself, but like he's the complete opposite. So it's cool.
Is there culturally any quirks or differences between you're an American made player and he's coming from Europe? Is there any interesting things that you've picked up on from him?
Out of game, like just like small things that are different, like tipping. He was like surprised by that. I think tipping was like different, and then like just simple little stuff like that that's different from the U.S. and Europe. But like in game, he definitely has like a lot more input, just because he played on a European team. Their play style is different, so it's always cool seeing like another way to see the game.
NRG Violation, who's one of the mods here in the Discord, he had a good question. He says, "What's your favorite weapon to use and why?"
Um, Probably just like the rifles, the AK and the M4. I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like that's just the baseline that all the pros just like are the most comfortable gun with, or the most comfortable with, I guess.
What's your role in the team and how is it different from your last team?
Uh, I'm kind of when I joined the team, I was a lurker slash entry, depending on what map, what like strat, whatever it was. But right now, we're definitely trying to like make sure everyone is good with all the roles. That being maybe good with ops, good support player, good making mid-round calls, good entry, good lurk, all that. I think that's what makes pro player a good player.
Another question here. How easy is it to get other teams to scrim or have legitimate practice with your team in the NA region? Are there teams that are more willing to scrim than others?
It definitely gets harder when like tournaments like Katowice right now, and most of the top NA teams went to that, so they obviously can't scrim from Europe. So we can still get scrims, but the quality's different. It's always it's always better getting like a C9 and a liquid to scrim than some of the other teams.
How do you feel about the status of CSGO right now compared to other esports? Because I mean, the CS last major did gangbusters in that final, so like it had that huge breath of life. But then you see it's typically on YouTube, and there's just been a lot going on in the scene. How do you feel about the popularity of CSGO right now?
I think it's doing really well. Like right now, I know ESL partnered with like Facebook. I think that killed the viewership a lot, but definitely like these recent tournaments like Katowice right now is 300,000 viewers just on the American stream. So I mean, that's pretty good. And yeah, definitely the finals of the major was like insane. I think it broke records for it, I'm pretty sure, on Twitch.
So, the what was your impression of the NRG CS:GO organization, I guess, before joining? What were some of the things that you were aware of coming in? Because I know like they do very good online, and then we kind of have a history of not performing to the same quality at LANs. Was that something you thought about? Is that something that you feel you're going to be able to help bring change to?
Um, yeah, because on my old team, I felt like we were better on land. I don't know why, but like I feel like I don't know. My impression though was definitely like all the players were skilled. I definitely I knew all of them were. I was friends with pretty much all of them. Out of like even if I wasn't on the team, so I mean that was definitely good going in. But yeah, I'm definitely here to help them improve.
What do you think the team's feeling is heading up into next week? Are you guys excited? Is it a little bit of nervous? Do you feel like you have something to prove? Like when you guys have your rah pep talks, like what's going on? What's the mentality? What do you feel the team's identity is heading into ESL?
For the team, I don't think anyone's nervous. I mean, I don't think there's really any need to. It's like the beginning of the season. It's not like we're playing a C9 or anything. But like individually, I like to just like this goes for LANs, this goes for just regular season games. I don't want to change anything up before I go in. So if I'm putting in 8-9 hours a day before that, I'm just gonna keep putting that in. Obviously, like if it's a LAN final, put in extra time, but I just like keeping a nice little schedule.
What do you think about for people who are just starting to pick up the game? Because after a major, I'm sure there's a huge influx of people who are like, what is this game? And they pick it up and they start playing. What are some of the basic tips that you would give to someone who just picks up the game and wants to improve?
I think if you just get the game and you're like trying to play matchmaking and stuff, I think it's all about aim, honestly, at that point. Just like being comfortable with your sensitivity, being comfortable with the maps, all that, getting to learn everything. But once you get up to like a higher level, it's definitely a lot different.
It was pretty awesome. I got to go to the other Vegas house, the one when we still had PTR and stuff, and I was hanging out with Breeze a little bit, and he pulled up this website. I think it was called like Aim Boost or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just going ham. I'd never seen anything like it. I've hung out with different competitors from different games, and I've seen some of the mechanical skill, but this was something on a whole nother level. What kind of tips and drills do you prefer to use to keep your aim on point?
I don't use any of the browser aim things just because I feel like I don't know, it doesn't translate into game the same for me. But I usually just like a couple months ago, I was all about like the maps, like the aim maps in game, and then now I just DM just like 30 minutes a day. So it's pretty simple for me. I don't know. I just like to keep myself warmed up.
We got a question here, a little bit about your history. Someone wanted to know, how did you get into CLG without no HLTV matches with Sub Rosa back then?
How did I get onto CLG? Is that the
Yeah.
question?
Yeah.
It was all about rank S at that point, honestly. Like if you were banging it in rank S, you can get on a like a lower tier pro team easily.
And so, for those who are unaware, what exactly is Rank S, and why are all the pros doing it?
Rank S is so in CS there's pugs, which is like just randomly puts together 10 different players and it's just 5v5, and then rank S is the same thing but it's all pro players that play it. So it only queues you against other pro players
Okay.
or yeah, stuff like that.
Anatoly says, can you tell Ethan to tell CeRq to stop watching Game of Thrones?
Oh, he's finished it. Don't worry. He's done with that.
What,
He's gonna wait another year for the next season.
did it take over his life? What happened? Why did this become a meme in his community? What's going on with
It was definitely right after practice. He went straight up to his room for the rest of the night to watch Game of Thrones. It was pretty much that was it.
You said before you watch a little bit of TV. What are the things you watch?
I watched all the Games of Thrones. I just finished that new show called Altered Carbon.
Oh, the
It's a
Netflix
pretty new
exclusive.
thing on Netflix. Yeah,
How was
pretty
it?
good. I liked it a lot. I watched it with my girlfriend. I think there was only 10 episodes, so it was a pretty short season.
Oh, the beauty of
But that was pretty
Netflix.
good. I can't remember any other shows I watched though, but those are definitely like my top two.
Have you gotten to check out any Overwatch League? Have you gotten to see like kind of how Blizzard has shaped the league, regionalizing it, the production quality, all that kind of stuff? As a CS player, which is a legacy game, it's been around forever, will be around after we're all gone. What do you think about Overwatch League? What do you think some of the things they're doing right, and some things you think maybe the CS:GO competitive scene could learn from it?
Yeah. So when it just came out, like the first match I ever played on Overwatch League, I think I watched that, and then just a couple of the shot games after that I watched. But I definitely noticed like the production, and then I played Overwatch a little bit, but not competitively, just because like some of my other friends played it, and like I don't know, I feel like it's kind of harder to watch. I think that's one of the things I noticed, but the mechanics in that game are insane. Just like how much skill it takes to play it.
See, I think that's pretty great coming from you, because I'd always kind of thought, like based off what I've seen from Breeze and how much speed and tracking is important to CS, I always thought CS was pretty much more mechanically taxing than Overwatch would be. Tell me if I'm wrong, but what do you think? Do you think there's any games out there that require as quick reflexes and better tracking than CS:GO? And how close do you think Overwatch players are to CS?
I don't know, like because like Overwatch is a completely different game. Like it takes a lot of more. I don't know. I never. It's hard to say because like I don't understand it to the level I understand CS. So, but it definitely looks. I think CS is definitely harder though, just because one shot, headshot, everything has to be like pixel perfect accuracy, all that stuff.
I noticed CS players also have a lot of strange settings. Do you have any weird, quirky settings or what are they? What are your settings?
I think the only thing I just use spacebar for crouch, and then a lot of pro players use mouse wheel for jump. So you just like scroll the mouse wheel and it jumps. But other than that, a lot of players have nade binds, we call them. So like for smokes, you have a button to take out the smoke grenade. Because I think default you just like have to spam 4. So like if it's the third nade you have to spam 4 3 times, and that just takes extra time. So just for like efficiency's sake, you just bind it to a button. But I think that's pretty much it.
I'm terrible at saying words, and I heard you say it a few minutes ago. I'm gonna feel really stupid when I mess it up. But Appy Biceps says, "Who are you cheering for in the IEM Katowice finals?"
Katowice.
Katowice. Okay, who are you going for?
Yeah. I always love the underdog, so I mean, definitely Fnatic. I don't know, these games are pretty close though. I just want to see Fnatic win something because they haven't really been on the radar too recently. So it'd definitely be cool to like see them win a big tournament like this.
Do you know some of the guys over there? Are you, when you watch these, are you sending people like tips and advice and stuff like that, or do you just kind of go full spectator and?
Yeah, just full spectator. Usually we'll like sit in team speak and just all five watch the game or like something like that. But
For educational purposes, or you guys just
oh yeah,
watch it as fans?
definitely for educational purposes, just to see like what the pro teams do and stuff. But also just because it's fun to watch.
Another good question here from Twitter from Zen and God, and you obviously don't have to go into detail because scrims are a private thing. But how do you think they're going? How are practices going? Are you guys feeling confident based off of what your scrims have been looking like?
Definitely confident. Yeah, they've been going pretty well. But then again, there hasn't been top NA teams in the region for a while, so.
Yeah, and a lot of people like scrims are one thing. It's just
They're different from matches. Everyone technically should be a lot better in scrims than they are in matches.
What are some of the big things you guys learned from some of those earlier matches you had in the year? Because there was a little stretch, I think a week, where you had a couple qualifiers and very mixed results. Sometimes you guys looked like world beaters, and then a couple times it seems like you guys just kind of fell apart for some reason. What did you learn from those practice? And let's also preface by saying you guys were barely together before that point. Yeah. So you guys have obviously learned a lot. But what are the main tips and things you learned from there to bring into ESL?
Right now I feel like it's a whole different team from then and now. We've put in tons of time. Not like we've had goals for like every scrim, all that. We went pretty hard. Definitely the coach helps. Our new coach has been helping a lot. Daps has put in a lot of time, just like trying to make sure everything's fine tuned for the matches and stuff like that, just before we start.
Thanks for bringing that up too, because we did just announce the brand new coach. And how long has he been helping you guys out, and what are some of the things he's been able to contribute?
He's just been like watching our scrims for like a week or two now, and just like kind of putting in his input on what he thinks like we could be doing better. It's definitely like he focuses on the communication a lot, which is definitely cool. Just because like I think that's our worst part about the team. Our weakness is definitely just communication, but I think he's definitely doing a lot to fix it, so that's good.
Well, I know like that communication is pivotal, and like I remember talking to we have an Overwatch SF Shock Discord. And we do weekly AMAs as well. We're going to be doing one today at 3:00 with Dak and Sleepy, our supports. But they were having communication issues, and they had a new coach. And what their problem was is they were talking too much. They were over communicating and talking all over each other. What was your guys' problems? Not enough talking, too much talking, something in between?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. Like in the stressful situations, it's definitely a lot of overcoming, and then in like the slower pace, like early rounds, it's a lot of not enough talking. Like it's too quiet. So it's definitely like we're trying to get just the right balance.
And how does that get better? Just constant playing, or are there actual drills and like words and patterns you guys are starting to add to your guys' communication?
Sorta. Like definitely calling it out. If our coach calls it out, that definitely helps a lot. Like mid round, not even like at the end of the game. Like mid round, he'll say like, "Guys, talk." Stuff like that really helps a lot, just so it kind of gets drilled into your head. I have a thing. We had this on CLG too, where it was like, you gotta calm every 10 seconds, kinda. Just like update it. So update your teammates on what you're watching, where you are, stuff like that. Like every 10 seconds, and that definitely helps a lot. Just so it kind of keeps the yeah.
Anatoly says, since I'm Bulgarian, I would like to know, Ethan, what do you know about Bulgaria? So has CeRq taught you any words? Has he taught you some of have you guys gotten some food from Bulgaria? What have you learned about Bulgaria?
He hasn't taught us any words, but it's definitely like no food either. But I don't know, he pretty much just like tells us like how the culture is different from America, stuff like that. Just little stuff.
How is your guys' like team culture? Are you guys memey behind the scenes? Are you guys really serious? What's the team like?
It's definitely on the Mimi side. Definitely. But I mean, like, there was a problem when we were scrimming, where like it wasn't serious enough. So we definitely had to like tone it down a bit with the memes. That's at one point.
I remember when I did hang out with Breeze, thinking he was gonna be more of the serious, quiet type, and then just being blown away with how funny that guy is.
Oh yeah, no,
Like
once he gets comfortable, it's full memes.
I hung out with him for only a weekend or something, and by the time I came home, I found myself saying the things he was saying at that time. Like it's just infectious. He'd like, "Hey, buddy," or how he would say it, "Hey, bud." It was just crazy, man. I love Breeze. I actually shared a room with him in Spain too. I love that guy. So what's on the horizon for you? What's the next couple of days looking like leading up, ramping up to the debut? Are you guys extra hard, business as usual? How's it going?
Yeah, we're definitely trying to like get as many scrims as we can. Like even if we want to scrim, we just have to like certain teams only scrim for so long, so there's only so many we can get. Like, but we're definitely trying to get as many as we can, and then if we do, we always have mistakes after games. So like, we always talk after games for at least like 30 minutes just to go over stuff.
All right. I have one more question I'm going to ask, and it's going to come from Anatoly again, because I just think this is an amazing question. I may ask everybody this one now. If you were in a zombie apocalypse and you had to choose 2 of your teammates, who would you choose to survive? Who's going to take you and keep you alive the longest?
Daps and
First of all, I need to compliment you because Daps is the ultimate choice. I don't know. I hung out with that dude too for a while in DC, and he just seems like he'd have a plan ready to go.
let's say Daps and CeRq, just as CeRq's from Bulgaria.
You think Bulgarians have an advantage in the zombie apocalypse?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, man. Well, I want to thank everybody who took the time out of their busy schedules to hang out in here. Thank you guys for all those retweets. I did see them, and I saw the screenshots and all that kind of stuff. Thank you to the mods who showed up pretty strong through here, keeping everything in line. This is something that we want to keep shaping and making better, so we are open to suggestions. I did love, like, there's advice about maybe screen capturing the chat so we can get you guys on that YouTube video. I want to thank Ethan for his time, or Nahte for his time, I should say. Please promote your Twitch channel and your social media and all that stuff.
Yeah, thank you. And all my social medias are just _Nahte, NAHT. It's all Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, all that.
All right, and like we said, we are going to be trying to keep these going each and every Sunday, but you got to keep your eye on NRG GG to know, because it's not as easy with SF Shock. With SF Shock Discord, we know 3 o'clock every time. That's just the way it goes. But we have a European team and our Smite guys. All of our Rocket League guys are like, children, so we have to move it around based off of their nap time. And then CSGO's always locked up in some big scrims. So keep your eye on NRG GG on the Twitter, and we'll keep you guys posted on when these are actually going to go down. Everyone else, you can go to our SF Shock Discord, which I'm sure one of these people will post a link to. And for 3 o'clock, we're going to be talking to SF Shock supports Dak and Sleepy. I want to thank Ethan one more time for his patience, and I know he's got a lot of scrims and a busy schedule, so thank you very much. We'll see you guys next week.
No problem. Thank you.